That was Bethesda's BE3. I'm back here in the studio, and we've got another about hour and a half of content for you guys with a lot of great games coming by to tell you more about everything happening here at E3. But right now, we've got our panel reacting to all things Bethesda with Stephen Kenny and Boogie. So, guys, we talked a little bit beforehand about what we expected. A couple surprise announcements, new games. Stephen, what was your overall impression of how Bethesda did today?
I think they handled the Fallout 76 situation pretty well, with Todd Howard acknowledging that they had messed up and then offering the kind of improvements people are looking for. It's a little weird for people to be cheering, hey, we just get human NPCs, but this is what people wanted from the game, and it's a healthy recipe. Give people what they want at this point. So I think they handled that situation positively.
Yep, so that was, I said that was kind of, something they had to address. And then a lot of other games, Todd didn't show Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6, but we got a couple new games. We got that Deathloop game from Arcane, which looks pretty badass, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, you got to understand, I'm coming from playing Where's Waldo for the NES, so that's it's only up from here for Bethesda for me.
Bethesda game, right?
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. I played it 2 days ago. I was shocked and appalled.
Oh, come on, really?
No, I know. I played it 2 days ago. Yeah, it was terrible, but I loved it. So I was really looking forward to what they had to announce today. And there's a huge emphasis on co-op, it seems.
Yep.
Like I felt Fallout with the I saw it right when I saw the fire. I was like, oh man, they're going BR.
Yeah.
They're going BR.
Yeah.
And everyone, Boogie here, Boogie Woogie's like, no, they're not. There's no way they are. Indeed, they did.
Yep.
And then even with Doom, they're doing the battle mode here. We can be Mancubus, my all-time favorite.
Yep.
Like, this is exciting. I love the flamethrower Predator cannon. This is all good stuff.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to everything that they have in Tokyo. What was it called again?
Ghostwire.
Ghostwire.
Yeah.
See, I don't know what they're going to do with it, but to me, when I see that, it looks like an episode of Arrow mixed with Infamous.
Yeah.
And if they go that route, I loved Infamous. I love Arrow. I love Stephen Amell. It looks like win-win for me.
No, and
the presentation was awesome.
Yeah, stage looked cool. And again, both those new games just kind of CG concept trailers, but they're brand new IPs. And Bethesda, out of all the publishers, I feel like every year they always have like new stuff. And you look at Xbox, where I don't think Xbox announced any new IP throughout their press conference in terms of at least their first-party studios.
No.
And it's like Bethesda continually sort of seems to at least push on like new things that they're doing.
And that was what was really interesting about the show is obviously they talk about the obvious stuff like Fallout 76, and Elder Scrolls Online and Elder Scrolls Legends, which is actually a very good card game. Coming from somebody who's obsessed with card games, Legends is good.
Yeah.
But they really did surprise us with some new concepts and some new IPs, and they definitely show that they continue to believe in the single-player experience, the PC gaming experience, the console experience. So even though I feel like this show focused a lot more on mobile than your average gamer would want, the kind of E3 show or would want, there's still plenty of stuff there for everybody.
And it's that crazy new Orion thing to like stream mobile, I guess?
For someone that gets hyped for games and announcements, to hear a lot of mobile and the announcement of Orion and the in-depth announcement of Orion.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of it, you know what I mean? But I can understand the importance of it and how it might help gamers who stream, who play online and such and so forth. So, I mean, I get it.
Commander Keen, it looked like, or something like that?
Yeah, some sort of spin-off there. I mean, we have seen a lot of trailers today, both the Xbox conference and the Bethesda one, where we don't actually see the game.
Right.
And I feel like we've been seeing more of the game in recent press conferences, at recent E3s, and this year might be a little bit of a regression.
No,
more
that's
to the concept
it's a
trailer.
progressive point, because I think Xbox, I don't think there were no live demos in Xbox at all, right? And I was expecting at least like a lengthy Gears campaign demo.
Right.
Doom, we got a little bit of a playthrough, but you're right, there has been a little bit of, and I face that a little bit with Game Awards sometimes, we don't do a lot of demos, and one of the things people like at E3 is like, oh, you're going to get 15 minutes of The Last of Us or something. And you're right, here it felt like, especially Xbox too, not a lot of in-depth demos, and even these two new Bethesda games, they're CG kind of concept trailers, which get you excited and are not bad, but you're right. It's like, what's the game?
And I guess the thinking back at it on the industry level, because we do a lot of that reporting on Kotaku, it is very stressful for development teams to make playable demos for E3.
Right.
So this may be masking the positive of the teams not being pushed as hard just to meet the kind of arbitrary deadline of E3 to put together a demo of a game that isn't truly complete yet. So that would be, I guess, the positive way of thinking about it. But it is hard to suss out what some of these games actually are.
It is a plan that still works, though. I mean, obviously, Death Stranding, I still am really not sure what I'm doing in that game, but I know
it's all
I'm
by
going to buy
design.
it, right?
Right.
So,
and I think the stuff that was ready, and you're sitting here with me, is like, You're saying to me, you're tapping me on the shoulder. I bet it's going to be ready tomorrow. And sure enough,
Right.
they're releasing demos. They're releasing free-to-play models tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, I bet if you can play Doom today, as soon as
I
this
want to get
thing's
my
over-
hands on Doom.
Yeah, and of course,
right
it's
now,
available to
yeah.
play. They showed a lot of gameplay stuff.
Yeah.
I think anything that is ready and ready to go, and what they feel confident in the player playing and trying, it's all there for you. So I was really happy with what they produced today. I think it was a good presentation.
Yeah, no, I mean, Doom was a big finish. And again, this was a year where, we kind of knew most of the stuff they were going to talk about compared to last year. It's like, yes, a couple new projects announced, but didn't see those games. They're not going to be up for Best of Show or anything, right? I mean, it's like they're just kind of, CG pieces. And even like, Wolf Youngblood, I mean, that's coming out in a couple months, right? So it's like they have a lot of, I mean, it's been a prolific year for Bethesda with Rage 2 just coming out. They have a lot of games kind of up and active right now, but still added some new ones.
And I did say I wanted a humbled Bethesda, and I do feel like they don't want to overpromise right now.
Right.
Like they're going to show you a CG trailer, and that's it. And we're not going to run the risk of showing you something.
No
we're
release
not gonna
dates on
completely
any of those,
not-
I don't think, right?
No.
So it's just like coming sometime in the future.
I'm sure they'll have to field a million questions, but
Yeah.
But it was also nice to
comfortable
see.
territory.
It was nice to see a lot of enthusiastic developers on stage.
Yeah.
Ikumi Nakamura,
Yep.
the developer, apparently an
Yeah.
artist. She'd done art for Okami and Bayonetta,
Oh.
I believe.
Oh, cool.
And has worked with Mikami for a long time. This is my
Yeah.
quick Twitter research
Okay.
during the show, and just her enthusiasm for
Absolutely.
the Ghostwire project.
She just won.
definitely helped.
Ken has got
you know,
competition with her on stage for sure.
That earnest, sort of pride in your work coming through, and
Yep.
you saw that from a number of their
No, great
developers there.
Like great female developer. You said like someone new, a new face out there, right?
Yeah.
Which is great because we get some of the same people again and again.
Right.
But yeah, no, I thought you said overall like a pretty polished, tight press conference, and Steven mentioned before the fact that Bethesda can do in hour 15 at Bethesda is pretty amazing. When Xbox has 60 games from almost the entire industry, and that fills almost I mean a little bit longer, but it's still like around the same amount of time. So it was a pretty good showcase, I thought, from them overall.
And I don't feel misled either. And the games that I know nothing about, Ghostwire and Deathloop, I'm curious about them, but in a good way. I don't feel like, oh, you didn't tell me enough. I just can't wait.
Well, you want some mystery.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I like that.
No, you like the Xbox Smart, like Elden Ring. It's like you don't really know that much about it, but it's like you're curious, right?
Right.
And that's part of the fun of this is like
And if somebody's been gaming for 45 years, right? That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the new. I'm interested in the team.
you game for 45 years.
Yeah, I've been gaming for. since I was a baby. I
was
guess,
gonna say,
right?
I'm like,
Like
that's
Atari 2600 got put in front of me when I was 3 years old, and I wasn't good at it, but I was playing.
You got me beat there,
Right. But I've been playing games my whole life, and I want something new and unique. And we saw that with was a time loop. And,
Deathloop.
Deathloop.
and Ghostwire, and then even some of the innovation they're doing with their existing franchises, like the battle mode for Doom Eternal.
Eternal,
What is,
yeah.
what do you, let me be the bad guy. That sounds amazing. Let me be the DM and create my. That sounds incredible.
Yeah,
very innovative.
Nice to see new games. I would point out, though, almost every game there is a shooter that we saw. I mean, I took some photos of the LA Convention Center, put them up on Twitter and on the site yesterday, and people were remarking every poster is somebody with a gun.
Yeah.
There is still a thing with gaming where it's like, can we explore a few more ways to interact than just shooting everybody?
Right.
I love a shooter as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
But there is something of, okay, good concept with a gun, good concept with a gun, a little bit of that. Also, though, I would look at this conference as something of an indicator of which trends and which things are fads and which are not. We see continued support for the Switch from Bethesda.
Yep.
I think the Switch is here to stay, but no mention of VR. Kind of a another worrying sign about VR's
That's true,
future.
because Bethesda is one of the early big supporters of VR.
Yeah, I mean, the best VR product right now might be the Oculus Quest, and
Quest
they're in
is
sort of a
amazing.
death rival with Bethesda.
Yeah,
so they wouldn't be supporting that platform. And then we see them getting on board the streaming thing, which is so controversial, because a lot of people don't think they want the Stadia-type streaming experience. And we see
Well, no, I
now
did that
Bethesda-
poll on Twitter where it's like 60 or 70% of the people in the poll basically said they had like zero interest in what Stadia represented them. And I think part of it, I'm a little more progressive on it. Is I think there's something obviously interesting there, but it's like until you try it, you said there's that trepidation of like you don't want to lose your control of your games and your console and your software.
When it all comes down to streaming, the biggest complaints I hear from my audience is number one, I want to own my games. I just came from a retro gaming convention yesterday where people are buying $50, $60 copies of old NES cartridges. Those people very
Well,
much
most people
care about
download
it,
all their
right?
games now, anyways, right?
Right, exactly. But that's
like-
I'm already past that point where everything is a digital license for me anyway. So the ability to not have to wait to download it, the ability to jump right in as soon as I purchased it or gotten the code, that's a future I'm interested in, but I don't know that so many of my audience can. I think when it comes to Stadia or any of the competing services that Xbox, PlayStation, Bethesda, anybody else wants to do, it's going to come down to consumer pricing as well. If it's a Netflix model, they're going to love it.
Right.
If it's a monthly fee, similar to Xbox Live or similar to PlayStation Gold, then also having to purchase the game but never owning it, I see a lot of people bucking in that area. So it really all comes down to consumer pricing, I think, 90% of it.
Agree. All right, so how would we grade Bethesda overall, Stephen, compared to anything else?
Pretty good. I mean,
A, B, C, D?
B plus, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards an A,
wanna
B
be A.
plus, B plus, A. You know, the only thing that could have made it A plus, like home run, would have been, of course, more Elder Scrolls. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you can't get everything. I didn't want everything. I think what we got was great, and like I said before, it makes you want more. And sometimes that's more important than getting everything.
Sure. Yeah, no, there's an art of sort of teasing you with things.
I'm a harsher critic.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
I feel like they spent a lot of time on mobile, and I was hoping it would be more
that's
for
right.
your more core gamer.
Yeah.
There's parts of that presser I was just kind of like looking at my phone. So
Wow.
I feel like if Xbox earlier today was a B plus, this is probably a C plus.
Okay.
But that's kind of what I expected from Bethesda this
Right.
year. I wanted them to play it safe. I wanted them to show us IPs we wanted,
Yeah.
and I wanted them to. You know, it seems like they continue to focus on mobile because they know that's the future. They know
Right.
that's where the money is. And I'm glad we're still getting support of this core gamers as well. You know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting now that we're through day one of these press conferences. There's some stuff coming the next few days, but still, I mean, I don't know if there's going to be that big surprise game. I mean, maybe Nintendo will have something on Tuesday. There's Avengers tomorrow from Square that people haven't seen. Maybe Ubisoft has, I think you guys reported there's some rumors that Ubisoft has a couple new things to reveal, right?
Yeah, and they're like, I mean, Bethesda, I would say, is kind of effectively emulating what Ubisoft does, which is nurture their existing franchises better than they had before, but also introduce some new ideas. And so I think people can count on Ubisoft to deliver some surprise.
Yep.
And Nintendo's always good for some sort of exciting things. I still feel like there's some good E3 to come over the next couple of days, despite the fact that we don't have Sony to.
Yeah, it's
go
gonna, yeah,
wild
listen,
about.
it's going to be interesting to see best of show, what people ultimately talk about, and out of all the Bethesda stuff, Doom obviously will be playable, but all that new stuff, it's like you're not going to play that, you're not going to play Elden Ring, you're not going to play Halo from Xbox, even Gears. I don't think the campaign's even here. It's just that new Escape.
The co-op Escape, yeah. I played it, it's good.
Is it good? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, we'll check that out soon, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Jeff.
As always, we're